Okay, ladies and gentlemen, at this time I'm going to call our meeting to order. This is the meeting of the Merrimack Town Center Committee, and we're meeting on February the 15th in the Matthew Thornton room. Jackie is the only one absent, but I need someone to take minutes. I don't know if Bill is amenable to that. Bill, you amenable? Can you do that for us? Because we do need some minutes for these meetings as part of the legal requirements. I'll remind everyone to turn on their microphones, and we will begin with approval of minutes for the last meeting, which was in November. And I think I handed out copies of draft minutes of those November the 30th. Mm-hmm. And I would ask for a motion to approve them. There's one thing that I want to call everyone's attention to, and that is under the status of the Sauhegan River Trail and the 2018 grant application. The first sentence there is correct. The second sentence saying the culvert pipe is corroded, that had nothing to do with the Sauhegan River Trail. That had to do with the bridge on Bedford Road, which I was talking about at the same time, and I think Jackie got them mixed up. So that those two sentences, the projected rainfall and the one about the culvert pipe, can be deleted. And any other suggestions for improvements to these minutes?
Is Finley still with us? Because you just said that we're only missing Jackie.
That was an error. We're missing Jackie and Finley.
Okay.
Finley is nominally still with us, and every time I ask him, he assures me that he is interested and likes us, but he doesn't. He has troubles remembering, I think, or getting here, one thing or another. I never hear from him prior to the meeting, so thank you for asking.
Is it $750 that was given?
Yes, it was.
I thought it was $350.
No, 700.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Bill, I've just called the meeting to order, and I'm going to introduce you here in a minute. As soon as we're working on a motion here to approve the minutes of the last meeting, and if you'd like, this is a folder for you. It's got some stuff in it.
I'm trying to get him to motion to approve the minutes.
You're trying to do what?
Get Peter,
Get Peter to make it.
because I wasn't here.
Oh, okay.
Nor was I.
I'll do it.
Karen looks like she would like to.
Yeah, I
Make a
move
motion.
that we approve the November 30th minutes with those two deletions under status of the Sauhegan River Trail.
Okay, thank you. Do we have a second? Seconded by Peter Flood. Do we have discussion of that motion? All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstaining?
Abstain.
Abstaining, Bill Wilks.
I should abstain also.
Okay,
I said
so
aye, but I should
you'll so
abstain.
note in the minutes.
Yes, I
that,
will. Thank you.
Thank you. The next thing on our agenda is old business discussions. But before I did that, I wanted to introduce to the committee a person that I re-met over the recess we've had here. And his name is Bill Sousa, and he is a former teacher or coach at the at the high school. He's very interested in walking and in developing walking facilities in Merrimack, and offered an interest in joining our committee. So,
Excellent.
if he's still interested after he's sat through this meeting, I will bring this to the attention of the town council. The town council makes the appointments, the official appointments, but that'll be no problem, I assure you. But anyway, I'd like everybody to meet Bill. He's here to give us advice and
Bill.
or comfort or.
I'm delighted. I went to the wrong part of the building.
Oh,
I didn't realize you're in the west wing.
oh, okay.
I went to the other side.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I'm delighted to be here, and I apologize.
Don,
This is
you
where the
didn't.
chaos is,
You didn't
in
mean.
the west wing.
Yeah.
Is it allowable to have 3 bills on the committee?
I think so. We'll make
Might
it
be a problem when
allowable
we're
if
trying
it
to
is.
pass one.
Yeah, there you go.
That's my wife.
Which do you prefer? Do you prefer Bill or William or
That
you prefer Bill?
distinguished myself.
Oh, okay.
Over a joke there.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you for your interest, and we'll be glad to have you on this committee, and this is a good thing. And I've given you some background material there. I gave him a copy of last year's annual report, of the charter from the town council, which created this, and the last minutes of the meeting. So he can sort of catch up as we go along here.
Oh, yes.
Next item on our agenda today is number 4, which is old business discussions. And we've got some, the first thing being TCC vacancies, and this addresses one of those vacancies right there. The planning board's NRPC study is stalled at the state level because they have the next item. The report is just about finished. This is a study that's going on with the NRPC and the planning board to look at sidewalks from on Route 3 for a whole development,
Between
end to end.
Nashua and Bedford.
Nashua to Bedford, yeah. And so they are,
As far as I know.
one of the requirements in there was that they would coordinate with the state. And so we've got a person from the state, and we're trying to get at the meeting with them. And that's where that's at. So it's moving along. On the Sahegan River Trail, I can't say there's been much motion, but it's alive. I just spoke this morning with Public Works, and it's in the hands of the state, and the state is busy shoveling snow or something. I don't know what is taking so long, but the plan is still that they would go out for bid on that work. They're still in design phase. They will go out for bid this fall. Karen?
Now, there was some kind of issue with the historical artifacts?
Well, yes.
Is that part of this?
Well, we've been through that gate, and I think that we're all set, that they've decided that there are no Indian burials or things of that kind. The
And they've
bridge,
signed off on that?
as far as I know, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
That's- I just-
It's a good question, and we don't get reports from them. You know, we just, when they say they're going out to bid, it sounds to me like they're satisfied with what they've got, and they're working on the design to get the sidewalk down there, and this is the sidewalk that'll go under Route 3. Yeah, that I mentioned it. So, that, on the 2018 grant, the application we made for Woodbury Street and Babusick Lake Road North Side Library to Gara we were not awarded one of those contracts. The demand, the request for money was higher than the budget by a factor of 10. And they have decided that others had a better priority. You may have read about Nashua's, I think it's the Nashua's French Hill area, where they're going to do some sidewalks there. This is the state money. And so we have to reapply again, and we will, but it's no longer an active thing that we're tracing. Any questions on that? I mentioned last fall, and I think I kept you abreast of an anonymous gift that was made by someone interested in the town and wanting to advance the idea of sidewalks and walking, and has given a $750 gift to the town, which I took to the town council, and they accepted it. So we've got about $1,000, which doesn't go very far on sidewalks, but it can do something. It doesn't have to be for sidewalks. It could be for little kiosks or a bench or something, when and if we want to do that. But the town accepted that money, and shows there's interest out there in the town when people are willing to pitch in some money for that. The chamber still have no representative from the chamber. I'll have to keep after them. They're just no one on the chamber that seems interested in rejoining us to replace Mary Hendricks. That's a problem. I did complete the annual report of the committee for the year 2018, which is, I've just handed you a copy of today. This will appear in the annual report of the town, and it says, kind of summarizes the things that we did last year in 2018. So the only other thing is officers for 2019, if we have anyone who would like to be an officer, please.
How many officers do we have?
We just we have a secretary, a nominal secretary, who's Jackie Flood. We have a chairman, and we have an
Vice.
alternate assistant. What are you,
Vice
deputy
chair?
chair?
Vice.
Chairman, and
Vice.
vice. Yeah, in
Yeah.
charge of vice, and that's Peter Flood.
I'm really happy with the slate of officers. I
I'll
would-
second that.
I would
Well,
nominate,
I'll
Them
keep
for
bringing
election.
it up until
Good for another year.
have to be.
do you have term limits?
There's no term limits written in the bylaws, unfortunately.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say unfortunately, yeah.
That-
Well, in all sincerity, I think we should be planning for, the succession, eventually. that,
Yeah.
You're gonna wanna retire, and,
Yeah.
I mean, how many years on the planning board?
Yeah,
40?
Oh,
What?
yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But, yeah,
Right,
Thank goodness he's
106.
still on the planning board.
I'm still on the planning board.
I know
yeah,
that.
Yeah,
yes,
okay.
He's just a junior guy in this organization.
right.
That's because the organization is only 10 years old, right? It's been 10 years since this committee's existed. Well, we'll move on to new business then. The next thing coming up on our agendas to be is the Town Winter Carnival. In the past, we've supported the Town Winter Carnival with a booth. This year, the carnival will be February 23rd, which is a week from Saturday. It goes from noon till 3 p.m. And Peter, I'm going to turn to you because you and Jackie have been principals in getting together the maps and so on and setting up a little booth inside the all-purpose room down there, which is what we've done in past years.
Clarification on the time. 12 to 3 a.m.?
12 to 3 p.m.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, did I say AM?
Uh,
That was not
No,
very-
I have 3 PM.
Maybe,
Yeah. Maybe wishful thinking, Peter.
I'm only trying to be funny.
Okay.
The Rotary Club has not put the acoustical panels up there that they're gonna put up, so it's gonna be noisy again.
Yeah.
We have a project, the Rotary Club has a project to put some sound deadening panels
Oh.
inside that building,
Really?
idea.
Yeah,
but we haven't done it yet, so
yeah.
Great idea.
that's a noisy space,
Yes, it is.
really noisy.
It is, and especially with a lot of little kids. And the Halloween was certainly noisy.
But I'd be willing to swing by and help if the traffic is heavy and so forth. I've done that in the past. I have no problem doing it again.
Good.
I don't know.
I will do the same. Yeah, that's only 3 hours. That's
Right.
that's doable. But I need.
They usually have a hot dog special.
Yes, you can get 2 hot dogs for.
That's this
$5.
Saturday.
No,
No,
it's
no,
a
no.
week from Saturday.
Week.
From Saturday.
Yeah, a week from
Yeah.
Saturday.
Yeah. What say you, Peter? Because you've got all the equipment.
Right, I was just thinking it might be day after tomorrow, or tomorrow.
Are you going skiing or snowboarding or anything like that on that Saturday?
No, I have to do that out in Iowa.
What about supporting this?
Yeah,
A week
we'll
from
set
Saturday.
up a table.
You will
He
say.
usually gives us a table. We have
Yes.
to notify him,
Yes.
Matt?
Yeah, I think Jackie has always handled this, so you might talk to her about it, but she coordinates with Matt, and Matt assigns us a space, and
Yeah,
we have to bring the maps. And all you need is the maps for this. I'll bring the handouts, okay? I've got a bunch of handouts, and I'll make those for the Sahegan River Trail and for the,
Want my old piece of a golf club?
it would be,
Pointer?
it would be very handy for you.
Okay.
You don't have to stand up, you can do it from your chair. Yeah, right. Okay? We got that covered then? Peter?
Got it covered.
All right, good.
What are you doing next Saturday afternoon, Bill? From noon to 3.
He's gonna do that. Well, you'd be welcome. What we do out there, Bill, is we set up we have a table, and we have a couple of big, full-size maps of the trails and the plans for the town. And we have handouts, they're a little handout of the map. And the idea is to build community awareness of these plans and what we're trying to do and build support. Usually we get some favorable comments, but we don't get many volunteers who want to sign up for the committee. But I think it helps overall in getting our word out that what we're trying to do.
One of the main interests of my attendance today is I'm very interested in making other people aware of the importance of what you folks are doing. You say 10 years?
Yes.
I spent 43 years trying to convince students to do certain things. So I know it's an uphill battle.
But you have experience
Yes.
and
The rest
interest.
of this,
That's
I'll
right.
put every effort I can behind it.
Good, thank you, that's good. So, yeah, in the area of public dissipation of information to the public, we had talked about doing some things on the town website, and Bill, you were the one who was gonna look into that.
I did,
You did.
yes.
And what have you got? Anything to report to us? Is there
Well-
anything we can do? We should do?
Becky Thompson said she would pretty much keep things up to date if I wanted to update her once a month. I asked if video was a possibility. She said she'd see what she could do. Doesn't sound like it's very definite. I don't know what hoops need to be gone through as far as posting a video. But, I mean, they're pretty innocuous, at least the ones we've done so far.
Yeah, we'll try it, see.
Yeah. Yep.
We have a video of the walkway out here, the
Yes.
rotary walkway,
Mm-hmm.
and,
That would be good to post, I think.
why don't you see if you can get that on in the
Okay.
next month or so? And,
Sure.
Get some word out about that. It's
All right.
kind of covered with snow right now. I don't think they shovel it. The rotary shovel that walk, do they?
Does
No,
Rotary
no.
shovel the walk?
Okay.
Rotary does not
Yeah.
shovel the walk.
All right. And I've already, any other projects? What else do we want to do this year? Do we still want to cover the 4th of July? Last year, we covered the Winter Carnival, the 4th of July, and the turkey shoot. Oh, and we did the elections this last year, too. I don't know if we want to do any of that again.
I don't think, I'm not sure where the 4th of July stands, because I'm not sure if that's all gelled up now, so. The Rotary Club is in limbo on that,
Really?
yeah.
Oh, what's the problem?
Resources, it's a huge commitment.
Human resources.
Yeah,
Yeah.
human resources, it's a huge commitment, and, our club has gotten smaller, we need more members.
Oh, you do too, yeah.
So, I know I'm not on the board right now, so I don't know exactly what the final decision was, but I know there was some conversation about not doing that, or for the Rotary Club not participating in that. But we will definitely do the pancake breakfast.
Okay.
So the pancake breakfast is a good venue.
That's what we've done that's what we did last year.
Okay, I was thinking the Midway and all that.
Yeah, we talked about doing the Midway, but we didn't think it was a good use of our resources, and we had a table at the pancake breakfast
Okay,
where we
well,
gave out,
We'll definitely be
it was
doing
an
that.
unmanned table, in
Yeah.
fact. It was just the maps and handouts, but that would be good. If we
Yeah,
could-
I know they're committed to their pancake breakfast.
Okay. Maybe you can let them know that we're committed. Maybe we're committed. Are we all committed to,
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's pretty easy to
it's a,
passive
yeah,
exhibit.
yeah. Okay, that's good. The turkey shoot, we can wait on that. We don't have to make a decision right now. That's in support of,
The turkey shoot would just be like one person, a table
yes.
with the posters and
Yeah.
the handouts, and then that one person. But I will be there, but for the turkey shoot, I have to work. So I can't man the
Yes,
table.
Yeah, okay.
Or
well,
maybe I can, I don't know. I mean, I'll be there sometimes and not.
See
or
how it
something.
unfolds.
Yeah, we'll
It's
see.
a ways off, at
Yeah.
least. It's in turkey time. which is-
November, yeah.
Yeah, so we don't have to worry about that too much. Now, I don't have
And
the,
elections too.
yeah, the elections, we should talk about elections. Last year, we did a survey at the elections. Actually, that was done by the planning board. We didn't
Mhm.
do it.
Yeah.
And it was, and the problem with that was we could only cover one polling place. We're gonna have 3 polling places now. And, we picked the one here at Mastercola because it has the largest list. So, I don't know if we wanted to, what we did last year was we had a questionnaire, you may remember, and we asked a bunch of questions. We got very favorable response. And again, it spread the word.
That was down at St. John Newman's too,
Oh, it was at St. John's, yeah.
because I took the survey.
Oh, okay. Were you there all day?
No, but it was on a table
Oh,
when you walked in.
oh, okay, it was a do-it-yourself,
Yes.
yeah.
I don't know what it was here, but it was
It was a do-it-yourself when I saw it anyway.
Yes.
Somebody may have been manning it at some time, but when
Yeah.
I left, it was,
Yeah, I think we couldn't get enough people
Yeah.
from our committee to man all 3 stations, so we did it on a do-it-yourself. And, okay, that's something to think about. Is there elections in April this year? There will be a,
Town elections.
what?
There's town elections in April.
There
usually.
are, that's what I thought,
Yeah.
yeah.
Probably won't be all that well attended, but
No.
No. And again, the question there was more or less,
well, it might be better attended because there's gonna be a big item on the ballot. The whole MVD thing.
the MVD will be a big item, yes, yeah. Yeah, that's right, that's the MVD election though, that's separate.
Isn't that done at the same time? Or
I
no?
thought it was done separately.
Well, they have their
The MVD
public
annual
meeting, what do you
meeting.
call it, town meeting, public meeting, but do they vote on that at that meeting?
Yes,
Okay.
I think so, and they're separate completely
It's March
from the
26th.
town. Yeah,
March 26th
it's March
is
26th.
the MVD meeting.
Yeah,
Mhm.
okay. What do we want to put together anything for that? Well, that's pretty close timing now.
Yeah.
And what we did for the other one was we had a questionnaire that people could fill out.
Mhm.
And I don't know if it pays to do the same questionnaire over again.
I mean, I think we have the data right now. I'm not sure that
Yeah.
would just be redundant.
I think so, if we
I
use
mean,
the same question.
We have a pretty good idea
Yeah,
of,
yeah. People want the sidewalk.
yeah, and we
Just-
have a good
yeah.
idea of what the priorities are.
Yes.
And we have we lack money.
That's,
So-
that's the hard part, right?
So, I mean, if somebody said, here, you've got a couple $100,000, we could easily spend it
Yeah,
with our current priority list.
yeah. Yeah,
So I'm not sure.
I think maybe we can let it go this time.
And that's gonna be I anticipate that will be a spirited meeting,
I think so. I think so.
MVD?
MVD.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I don't
Is
know
that
if
about the
people,
water?
It's
Yes.
about the water.
I don't know if
PFOA?
people are gonna be that
Yeah.
interested in, looking at a sidewalk.
Yes,
map or
the
anything.
sidewalk would kind of not be high on their agendas.
Yeah.
The people who are coming to talk about water want to talk about water.
Right,
Mhm.
And,
right.
okay, we can let that one go. There was one other thing I wanted to mention on here, and that was I didn't include anything at the farmer's market. The farmer's market, I think we did one last year, one of the Wednesdays, when the farmer's market's outdoors. We went out and did it. And again, the farmer's market type of people are all for sidewalks, is sort of goes together. And
I'd be willing to do
it's
one of
what-
those
yeah,
in the summertime. Is that what you're thinking?
yeah, that's what I was thinking in the summertime. I'll put it on our list of things that we can consider. And come July, nice hot Wednesday afternoon, we can go out and do that.
Weather permitting or weather.
Well, yeah, we always do weather permitting, right? We don't do rain.
So I haven't, this is definitely related to the subject. It might not pertain specifically to the town center, but can you give us a little update, because you're on the planning board, on the whole sidewalk proposal that Monahan's proposing and how that would connect? Would that connect it to Dunkin' Donuts, and does that go up Continental at all? Or can
Well-
you give us a little update on how that's
Okay,
proposed?
the way it is, it ties in, the Monahan proposal is completely sidewalked within itself, and it has a peripheral sidewalk on the whole property. It intersects with the traffic lights that cross Continental Boulevard to Dunkin' Donuts, but it does not include a push-to-walk kind of button. Okay, and
So would there be a hashed walkway there? That people go at their own risk? How does that work?
that has not been, we haven't gotten to that detail yet. We haven't got the actual we've been working with them on a planned development, which is kind of an overall conceptual development. Then there will be individual site plans that are submitted, and those will include things like the detail as to whether there be a crosswalk there. They were, in our discussions with them, I will tell you, they weren't too keen on doing that because they've got their own coffee shops and their own,
Oh, I'm not proposing it for I'm not promoting it for Dunkin' Donuts, I'm just
I
thinking
know,
about
but
the whole network.
yeah. Well, yeah, and nothing beyond that, nothing going north from there. But it does connect, on the other side, it does connect to the sidewalks that go all the way up to the premium outlets. So it connects to premium outlets and it connects to Fidelity, if and when they ever want to do it. Fidelity, you may or may not remember, was opposed to building sidewalks that would connect to them at the time we did the premium outlets.
Well, they don't want anybody on their property.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not supposed to be there. I mean,
Yeah.
if you
So,
accidentally drive in their driveway, they chase you down,
yeah. Oh,
especially
okay.
on a weekend or something.
Yeah.
Because they have trails and so forth in there.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some residents, not myself, but some residents know of those trails and they like to go in there and
Mm-hmm.
they get chased out of there, I think.
I see. I didn't realize that. I knew they were covetous of their property and wanted to keep it for themselves. So that's about the extent of it. But within and of itself, the Monahan proposal has lots of sidewalks. It's meant to be a walking community. There's residents, stores,
Offices.
and offices, right.
And I guess you have that fire lane behind there. That remains,
That
correct?
remains.
Yeah, so people can walk through there. I don't know if the security people like it, but I think people do walk through there to go to that other neighborhood. It's what, Camp Sargent area?
Yes, there's a mixed reaction to that, but it's possible. There's, it is public way, and it's the way it is. Now, that's a little out of our jurisdiction area in the town
But
center committee.
I like to understand how we're
Yes.
progressing with sidewalks in
Yeah.
general,
Yeah.
and, just in certain parts of the town.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Good. That then pretty much wraps up. We'll put the I'll put the farmers market back on here.
So, Nelson, what measurable progress can we expect to make, so in the next year, just looking ahead for our committee? So, I mean, we have the Sluesway project, which is funded,
Yes.
and that's gonna happen sometime.
Yes. Yes.
Which Tuesday?
Yeah, when we get a contractor or whatever, the money's there. The good news
yeah.
is the money's there.
It was last we knew.
Yeah. But it's all been appropriated, hasn't it? Or,
Yes. But
okay.
it has a way. These monies have ways of moving to other projects without prior notice. But
Did you listen to the news at 11 o'clock before you came here?
no, what are we going to give up to build the wall? No.
Speaking of money's moving,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that's another subject.
That's another subject. Let's not go there.
But anyways,
Yeah.
I'm just trying
Okay.
to be visual.
Okay, the vision right now, where we stand, is the project is supposed to, the Sauhegan River Trail project is supposed to go out for bid this fall. And the design is ongoing right now. That's where it stands. Yeah, okay.
So that's that.
that's that.
What's our next?
Okay, our next project that I would conceive of is to try to reinvent the 2018 proposal for sidewalks on Woodbury Street. I think that's been our priority, and we
And then to put Matt on the spot, we've got the O'Gara
but-
Drive.
Yeah, now O'Gara Drive's in the budget for this coming year.
Anymore, no.
Oh,
No, the O'Gara Drive is not in there for 1920.
oh, it isn't? I thought
No.
it was.
No,
Oh,
it was, let me get you the,
oh.
How is that, so now that we bought that, whatever we call the building. The
we
red
call
buil-
it the Red Building.
The red building, which is in theory where, a group of people wants the school administration people to reside, instead of being potentially out by the tennis courts, which I know was another proposal.
Correct.
Has any of that been firmed up so that the O'Gara Drive sidewalk project can be a part of the resurfacing of O'Gara Drive and the parking lots, or where does all that stand?
They were thinking that it should be done as one project.
Right.
So it was, I want to make sure that I have the right, so when the parking lot is done, O'Gara and the sidewalk would be done at the same time. But there's also a thought that looking at Brentwood and what we would be doing with that needs to be part of a whole cohesive plan to make it all work, because the traffic pattern at the high school, as Bill would attest to, is less than ideal. When you have 400 student cars getting out at 2:15 and parents trying to pick up. So we'd like to look at that. Because of recent developments and looking at, acquiring the property and then looking at all the traffic, we'd like to try and put together a cohesive plan that takes everything into account, including the potential construction of a new central office. And with that, at some point, we talk with Steve Keach to help us in that endeavor. So we've just kind of taken a step back from that O'Gara Drive sidewalk for the time being.
So there's not gonna be any kind of work done on O'Gara Drive for parking lots or roadway or anything. It would be pushed off until you had a bigger plan, is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's correct. But, let me get this going here. That's what I want right there. O'Gara Drive and the sidewalk is out in 2021. And that is the same year that the SAU consolidation would be done, as far as the latest capital improvement plan. So,
Explain to me what you mean by that, because as you noticed from my last year's report, it was in the.
I know,
Okay.
it was in 1920,
Yeah,
but now
that's
the
where
O'Gara,
it was.
yeah, the SAU consolidation is, which would mean building a new building potentially on the site of where Brentwood is,
Yeah,
or refurbishing Brentwood to be the new building.
okay.
And so,
Or
anything,
building a one out on the, where the tennis courts were.
which
was
still
another.
could be
Yeah.
an option. But the main option is looking at that site where Brentwood is,
Uh-huh,
and to either build from new or to renovate. That still hasn't been determined. But that's in 2021, and at that time, we'd have a better idea of what that building should look like. Is it going to land where Brentwood is, which I think it is going to land there. I think that was the purpose of purchasing the property. And then in that plan, in the same year, we have O'Gara Drive and the sidewalk on O'Gara Drive.
yeah.
So,
Okay, so that would be in 2021.
yes.
Delay it.
So it was
No,
pushed, it was
yeah.
pushed out a
A
year
Yeah,
to coincide with the SAU consolidation,
uh-huh,
and to have us have the opportunity to look at the entire campus to see if we could potentially redesign
the flow.
Yeah.
So,
Would those be separate warrant articles?
yes, it wouldn't be all one package. I'm assuming the central office would be a separate warrant article in 2021.
Wouldn't it make
Most
sense to
assuredly.
do it all in one package? I would think,
Well,
well, except for the size of the.
well, you know, when you're doing a roadway and with sidewalk and everything like that, like I said, we partner with Kyle Fox, who gives us the price
Yeah,
from Continental.
Sure, yeah.
So, you know, he puts us in his bid specs when he's doing roads.
Yeah,
So I don't think the roadway construction piece would be bundled with the construction
Okay,
piece.
I see what
It
you
doesn't
mean.
make, they're almost two separate animals.
yeah.
So, but,
Does it comes under the school district budget though, right?
correct,
Yeah.
yes. So
Yeah.
that could be, I don't want to speak for what future boards could do, but the O'Gara Drive and the sidewalk paving could be in the operating budget. And then the central office consolidation could be,
Be
well, is
warrant.
going to be a separate warrant
gonna be a
article because
warrant
it's going to be a
article. Yeah.
bond,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
And, you know, that would be something that we would look at as kind of one piece.
Yeah.
And trying to get a plan. I think O'Gara Drive is going to be where O'Gara Drive is now. That's a
Yeah.
given, you know.
Yeah, I don't.
And the sidewalks are gonna
don't have
change.
much way to move
But
it.
we've got that going on. Then the next year, 2021, we've got the main parking of everything. So
Yeah.
after the central office is located, O'Gara Drive is done, and then the plan is created with the building placed where it needs to be, then we can look at the traffic flow internally and then repave the whole parking
Yeah.
lot area,
Yeah.
the student parking lots and everything like that,
Yeah.
so.
A lot of moving parts here.
There's
Yeah.
it's a whole complex piece, and the site does have its limitations as far as, you know, traffic and everything like that.
Yeah.
You know, when you look at a high school site, central office is there, special services is there, maintenance is there, and you go right down the road, you have the upper elementary school, the elementary school. It's kind of an urban type campus in a suburban environment, so there's a lot of things that we have to take care of. Right now, I'll just go on just a little bit more. Right now for 1920, on the warrant is going to be an article to take care of the Mastercola Elementary School parking lot,
Yeah.
and then part of the upper elementary school parking lot that abuts School Street. Because the MES parking lot, the drainage is horrible, it's coming apart. It actually kind of creates this little cereal bowl type effect
Yeah.
where there isn't proper drainage.
Yeah.
So Steve has come up with a plan to look at that, regrade everything, make sure everything is ADA compliant. So that's the kind of planning we're doing right now to take care of that issue. And then next year, we're going to do the O'Gara Drive piece,
Yeah.
which would be 2021.
Yeah.
And then supposedly, you know, on 2021, that would be when the SAU would come into play as a
Yeah.
warrant article. And we'd figure out how all those pieces fit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
All right.
we got a lot going on.
There's a lot.
Yeah. And we'll be meeting with you on the 19th, I believe, to discuss all of this.
This is for the capital.
The CIP.
Yeah,
Correct.
the new CIP. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot there.
Okay, subject to change without notice.
Subject to change without notice, yeah, correct.
Does that answer your question?
So it sounds like we got, the Chamberlain Bridge project would be the next thing that we're gonna see
You see some action.
any significant action on.
Yeah,
And then probably O'Gara Drive,
probably. Yeah.
and then Woodbury.
Then Woodbury.
Because, I mean, by the time we get
Yeah.
the grant and so forth
Oh, yeah.
on Woodbury, then you gotta get the,
Yeah.
you know, engineering, and that'll
Uh-huh.
be 20,
Yeah.
22 or something, 23.
Historic artifacts survey. Yeah. Yeah.
So is there any, so those are three
Some of
major
those.
projects. Is there any other smaller projects in between we could think about?
Well, we could think about them. We have a list, you know, we have a list of priorities that came off of our study.
But they're all big money,
They're all,
they all cost a,
big
I'm just,
things. We could
I'm
break
just
them down.
brainstorming. Is there
No,
anything like,
Yeah.
you know, do we want to put some kind of path down at, what do we call it,
What do we call
where the pavilion is?
it? In the park down here?
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah, yeah.
saying, is there anything small that, you know, we might be able to accomplish
Yeah.
in between?
Well, I'm
all
open to
these big projects?
suggestions. I haven't
I can't
thought about
think- I
that
mean-
much right offhand.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is a park committee still. Is Jackie still? Jackie was on, there was a Watson Park committee. You're talking about Watson Park, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
She did that for 6 years, almost killed her.
Oh.
but is there anything like, you know, through the trail system or anything like that that makes any sense for us to try to go after or anything? I don't know,
Yeah.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like we have three big projects, and we kind of know, you know, what it's gonna take to get there on those three big projects. I'm just,
Yeah.
I just like to make incremental progress on something else.
Why
if
don't
it
we
made
take
sense.
it as an action item for each member of the committee to go home and think of one of those kind of projects and bring it to our next meeting? And we can discuss it. We've had a little time to think about it, and everybody's got the map, and everybody knows where our turf is.
Maybe it's painting a line or something, I don't know.
Could be. Could be. The paint's all worn off out here.
Right.
Remember when we did the Church Street study? Remember, we had recommended to the town council that they make Church Street a dead end. And while we were in that process of discussion, there was a recommendation that we unblock the left turn as you come up Babusick Lake Road to make a left turn onto not O'Gara, but McElwain Street. That cars stop there, waiting for their turn, and it blocks people trying to come out of Church Street. So the solution was to paint a big X, no, don't stop here sign. Well, most of that's worn off. And I don't know how well it worked because I never really use it at that time of day. It was in the morning when people were trying to go to school and they were coming up Babusick Lake Road and they wanted to go left. And there was traffic coming the other way, coming down to Route 3, so they couldn't go left and they stopped there and traffic was backing up. And so people on Church Street couldn't get out. And I don't know how much of that. Anyway, that was a past thing, but it's worn off. It's the only point I wanted to
Yeah,
say.
that is,
Not completely.
that's whether or not it's worn off or it's kind of faded.
Yeah.
I found that not to be very effective and people not really honoring that.
People don't pay attention to it. Yeah.
Right.
You have to drive
for
like you're
whatever
in
reason.
Boston.
Well, yeah, kind
But
of.
they do. That's how we got where we are.
Yeah. Especially at around 25 past 8 in the morning,
That's
20
right.
past 8 in
It's
the morning.
25 past, and
it's
and
like,
I gotta get
uh-oh.
to work. Yeah.
No, you go, you bypass that totally and you go down the road, then you go up Woodbury and take a left.
Yeah.
That's how I get to the office.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
even touch that area.
Really?
If I'm getting to the office at that time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Before 8 o'clock, it's good. After,
Yeah.
in that half-hour
Yeah.
span,
Okay, well, let's just take an action item to bring some ideas into our next meeting. And I think we can,
Well, if I was a dictator of Merrimack, I'd have all school children ride the buses. And no student in Merrimack schools could take their own car to school.
well, there's a lot of parent drop-offs, too. Hence,
Yeah.
yeah, Bill is
Good luck with that.
laughing over there, yeah. And,
Yeah, good luck with
That
that.
jams up a lot.
well, the high school necessarily with the kids driving early in the morning, that's not bad. It's the parent drop-offs. I mean, in recent years, we probably have like well over 100 parents that drop off at the upper elementary school and all the other schools. That they do that. It's a way for them to not wait for the bus, to get going a little bit earlier, and they can just drop off and
Yeah.
then go on their way.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's a little bit problematic, but it's what they do, and it's well within their right to do that. But if you were dictator, I'm sure you would address that in a very eloquent fashion.
With pause, with appropriate pause.
With appropriate pause.
Yes.
Yes, like the gentleman we were talking about
Right,
earlier,
right.
yes.
My niece goes to Concord Carlisle High School in
I know what
Concord,
that
Mass.
is, yeah.
And they limit the underclass people to park, sophomores can't park to start
Right.
with.
So do we, yeah.
And is that how it works?
You
here?
Yeah.
have to be a junior or senior?
Yeah, correct,
Right.
to get a parking permit. But,
Well, there's a time when you could just move that up to just seniors,
yes,
because the previous juniors would love it.
right, correct, yeah.
And
Oh, now that I think of it, didn't they used to park down by Frank's or something if they didn't have a parking permit?
Yes.
That is correct, and I
Yeah.
believe they still do, because I see kids walking down
There's
Woodbury.
an awful lot of kids who walk down Woodbury Street. That's
Yeah.
where we got our need to put sidewalks on Woodbury Street.
Yeah.
Put
in
a
the
sidewalk.
middle of road.
They walk in the middle of the road. They do. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's
They're-
no edges
They're
there, right?
immune to any car damage.
Yeah.
They're
And I noticed recently that between 2 and 3, there used to be a sign at the corner of Woodbury and McElwain,
yeah.
and that sign's gone now.
It is?
So they can go straight down McElwain as opposed to taking a right on
Well,
Woodbury.
the police did away with it, I think.
Yes, they did,
They
yeah.
had
They did?
they had some reason why it didn't make sense or whatever.
Well, I didn't really realize it was there, and I got pulled over for it.
This is to prevent you from doing what? Coming
Going
down?
straight down McElwain Street from the high school.
Yeah.
There used to be a sign right at the corner.
Yeah.
You're coming from in front of the high school, you're driving down McElwain.
Yeah.
And then between 2 and 3, you couldn't go straight, you had to take right, a right-hand turn, go down Woodbury.
You had to go down Woodbury.
You had to go down Woodbury, and then what you would do was going down that I don't know if it's a road or a town road or
It's-
whatever it
yes,
is,
it's, I know the place.
where Tire Town
Yeah.
is. So they used to cut, talking to Chris, who used to own the place, they used to come right through there
Yeah.
and drive through CVS parking lot, hit that light, and then take a left. So it's challenging. But now they can go straight down
Yeah.
McElwain, and we haven't heard any complaints from that. At least I haven't heard any issues with that. So the
Yeah.
police removed that sign. But there is still kids walking down Woodbury
Yes.
that park in the parking lot.
You
over
were
there.
able to read that sign if you came up Woodbury, and you wanted to turn right down McElwain. Sign was right there, so you could read it. But it might not have been.
Well, they must have been twisted when you saw it, because when it used to be straight on, perpendicular to McElwain. So when you're driving on McElwain, you would see it. No entrance between 2 and 3, so you had to take a right to go down Woodbury, if you were going out that way.
Okay. There's some
That's
ideas.
neither here nor there. But, that's what I'm talking about, the whole traffic situation
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
pattern and whatnot, and trying to come up with some sort of better solution long-term.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's gonna happen right away, but, it's something that we need to take a look at and see what we can do. It's amazing with, some of these engineers, especially Steve, and, Paul Chisholm, who was a Merrimack High School grad, who probably is very familiar with that,
Yeah.
parking lot, can come up with. So we're working with
Yeah.
them.
Good. Okay, well, thank you for all that information. That's good, and gives us something to chew on for our next meeting. Is there anything else we want to bring up today for discussion? We're about used up our hour. Bill?
We have down here for letter B, additional TV presentations. I
Yeah.
didn't know if you had any thoughts about doing anything more, or?
Well, really,
the
what I was
technology.
thinking of was what you had brought up, and I thought we sort of covered it with that, with your discussions with Becky and the possibility of putting those in. Certainly, I'm open to any suggestions of TV, additional exposure for this committee. Because when you run into a guy like Bill and he hasn't heard of our committee, I say, well, you know, we're missing something here and getting the word out.
Nelson?
Yeah.
So I don't really think, I mean, there are definitely a fair amount of people that probably know about it, but the trails, you know, that go all the way back to Chamberlain Bridge and all that sort of stuff. Is there any way we could do a little film like that says, you know, where we're walking the trails and, you know, and we say,
Yeah.
do you know that this exists in Merrimack? And, you know, it's safe and it's navigable and blah, blah, blah. I mean,
Sure,
that's our charter, right? To create more
Create.
walking and,
Yeah, yeah.
but I mean, I don't think a lot of people, you know, it's a bedroom community. I don't think a lot of people know
I think you're right.
that
You're
those
absolutely
trails
right, yeah.
exist. So
Yeah.
maybe we could do some kind of little video. We got an expert over there.
That's what we need, is an expert to go out there with a video camera and do it and narrate it as he goes.
Yeah.
He's also a
He
narrator.
figures if he stays very still,
Still,
you'll stop
Right.
talking about
I can, exactly. I mean, I can certainly walk.
No, I
and I
mean,
can talk,
I-
but operating a camera at the same time, I don't know. I think a companion.
I mean, I'd be willing to
Bill.
help, but I'm not
Maybe.
good at talking. So, but I think that would be a natural thing for us to do,
It
to
would.
highlight that trail network
It would,
in
yeah,
leading into the town center.
yeah.
And then we might do something to take a picture of the bridge and say, you know, this is kind of the Beaufort situation, but the money's appropriated and
Yeah.
there will be the ability to walk under the bridge over to Watson Park. Just a thought.
Yeah, no, that'd be good if we just need somebody to dedicate themselves to doing that.
I mean, I think we
Yeah,
warn people
yeah.
out on the steps. I mean, that's run a lot.
It has, yeah.
I mean,
Is it, Justin, do you know if it's still running? Can you hear us? You don't know?
Yeah, he's still, we're still on TV here.
The
No, the step
the
doesn't.
dedication, the steps dedication?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to ask him,
Okay.
yeah.
I will, offline. So, yeah, I mean, I'd be happy to narrate, but it's, I don't wanna do it by myself.
I mean, if there's anything I can do to
I might
help,
get lost, you know?
if there's anything I can do to help, I mean, I'd be happy to help. I've never done real camera work or anything,
Yeah,
so.
well, I think the camera work, at least what I've used so far, is one of these.
Yeah.
And you just turn it in and he makes magic happen.
Do you wanna try to do that in the
We
spring
can.
or
Sure.
when it gets?
Let's wait till the weather
The
gets a
weather
little
gets
better.
nicer?
I'm good
Yeah.
for mud season, though. I got boots.
No, but the trail right now is not really walkable.
Right.
Understandable.
Yeah, it's too icy.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think the town's
I'll
shoveling
meet you on a
that.
Saturday morning, Bill, or something?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, set it up and I'll go with you too, and I'll
All right.
give you my 2 cents
not?
worth, but springtime, when things
Springtime.
are starting to bloom and things are starting
All
to
right.
look pretty again, leaves
Sure.
coming out, wildflowers along the way.
Certain
Anybody else
conditions
wants to
that
join
need
us?
to happen.
Yeah.
We can have a party.
All right, that sounds
All
good.
right. Yeah, that does sound like a good idea. We could start out at the high school saying walk up. We can't really walk, we could show them Watson Park and where it's gonna be.
Yeah.
And then, if we actually get under construction, we could get some pictures maybe of the construction of this thing when that time comes.
Sure.
But for now, we can do the upper part, go all the way to Wildcat Falls. Show them Wildcat Falls. That's,
Sure.
a lot of people don't realize what a beautiful thing that is.
Right.
My favorite walks.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Also a killer.
Killer? Well, only if you,
Only a
only if
few.
you're immortal. If you're a kid, you can go jump in, but,
Peter, you would have dangled from a branch back in your glory days, wouldn't you?
Right, yeah.
Okay, do we want to talk about a time for our next meeting? Now, we want to meet, we will have a subcommittee, if you will, meet for the Winter Carnival, a week from Saturday. But then for the next meeting of this committee, would you like to meet in the end of March, sometime like that? Or you got any other thoughts on the subject? Let's see what the calendar looks like. Got March here. Fridays being, well, probably toward the end, 22 or 29. Any thoughts on that? Any objections?
Well, we were doing last Friday, the last Friday of the month. I think that's why I called you and you were in a panic.
Yeah,
About
that was the one I
the
did,
last
that's the
meeting?
one I totally spaced.
Yep.
Right, yeah. So we can do that. That will be the 29th.
Okay.
Let me just make sure that I have that day. March 29th is a Friday,
Mhm.
noon.
I think getting on a regular schedule, at least for people that, from the
Yeah.
public that might want to participate, at least they know when it is.
Okay, we'll make it the 29th then. Let's, and I would entertain a motion to adjourn unless somebody else wants
So
to.
moved.
Moved by Bill?
Second.
He's got a,
You have
Oh.
a public,
Oh, I
Oh.
do have a public. I'm so
Jeez.
sorry. You know, we never get public. Bill. Bill, you have the
Anybody else out
floor.
there?
Would you like to say anything to us?
yes, I would. I know.
But you know what I'm going to ask you
You
to
have to get up to
do?
the
Is come and take a microphone because
are those on?
this
Take
one's
that off.
on. So if you can talk to this microphone. Oh, try there, see? Make the
Yeah.
little blue light, little green light come on.
There's a green light.
Is it green
Push it.
light, is it on?
Yeah, it's on now.
Okay, now you can talk to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can talk right there.
Oh, okay.
Great.
The only thing I've seen on television is the congressional hearings. But
Well,
I
this
don't
is like
feel
the-
the
I hope we're
pressure.
more.
So, I'm under no stress or anything. Actually, I'm optimistic because, my name is Bill Souza, 7 Usher Lane, Merrimack, New Hampshire. Been a resident of the community since 1973, okay? Currently reside at Parker Village, and that's where I met Nelson, and we discussed my opportunities to get involved in this whole program, which I think is very worthwhile, okay? I just want to say this, I'm a former civics teacher, and Woodrow Wilson said, President of the United States at one point, he studied government, and he said that Congress in committee is Congress at work. And so I'm seeing a committee here, and very, very hard-working people here. You're talking about a lot of things that the public is not aware of. So I'm one member of that lack of awareness. So I'm embarrassed to say that I've lived here so long. Where have I been? I feel like Rip Van Winkle, okay? But I do have a few comments, and maybe even some suggestions. The gift that you were talking about for $750, Nashua has a parking problem, and the mayor wants to put up signs everywhere. So that money could be used for that, for marking the trails or whatever. Just a suggestion. And as far as the awareness of making people get involved, which is what I'm hearing, the theme here is you want more involvement. You need more boots on the ground, basically, right? Thus, an army of citizens who can bring closure to a 10-year thing. That's a long time to be spending. You know, it's one thing to, they've been talking for decades to build a wall. You want to have trails taking people somewhere, you know. You don't want barriers, that's for sure. But being a former teacher, being involved in the Merrimack system, they have a curriculum, physical education, health and fitness, and so forth. How about tapping those people? Matt might know something about civic involvement through the greenhouse. That's where ideas sprout, right?
Yes.
So I would say tap the physical education teachers, our curriculum, at every single level, kindergarten, elementary, secondary. And I think you would get National Honor Society involved in that. They're looking for projects. They want to do things for seniors in this community, raking leaves and things like that. Well, getting out and telling people how they can be more physically fit and healthy would be one way of involving your schools, which thus would involve the parents and perhaps even the school board. It's just a thought, okay? Speaking of television, you mentioned, Bill, you mentioned TV, right? You mentioned videography or videoing. We have a whole unit up there at the high school. Those kids could go out, high school students, and go to the trails as projects related to something real and applied to the community. That's your tax money being put to use. We spend well over, I'm not up to date, Matt, on how much it would cost to run our schools, but I'm going to ballpark it, $55 million a year.
A little bit more than that, Bill.
I'm a little bit off.
70?
You know.
70?
Yeah.
Of course, that's all local aid, not too much from the feds or the state.
Well, if you're looking at the adequacy money, there's around maybe $8 million there, so, yeah, it's still more than 50, but, yeah, local tax burden it's significant,
Yeah.
yeah.
So let's put that tax money to use. Let's have the students get out there and do things. The teachers, sometimes they would like that as staff development to bring their craft to educate people. And we're educating the whole town. Public television, I'm on it right now. I don't know how many people will be watching us, but I do watch the government channels. It's rather entertaining sometimes. Let's put that to use. In fact, you could put a documentary on the TV. I don't know how many people would watch it, but I think that's a good thing. By the way, just recently, I'm at Parker Village where Nelson resides, and I was talking to a few people there. Of course, they're 55 and over. We have a lot of those folks in town, okay? So I've talked about the young, I've talked about parents, but what about senior citizens? Silver Sneakers is what my wife and I just got involved in because my insurance company pays for it. Okay, I'm not here plugging my insurance company, but we went and signed up at the Merrimack YMCA. How about them getting behind us? They're an active business in town. You know, they are for civic education. They are for involving people, young people, old people. I mean, I'm going to be 74 in August, unfortunately. And my wife and I went walking in inside the YMCA's track. And we met other senior citizens there too. So I think you'd get a lot of support in the community. Just Parker Village alone, I think Nelson would agree with me. There's a lot of people that are concerned about a whole host of things. And being physically fit at our tender age would be a good thing, using the trails in the community. And I don't know, on this one, is there such things as revenue sharing? That you could have matching funds?
Well, yeah, that's where we're getting our money to do these.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's what we've been doing, because the council is not interested in putting forth warrant articles. You know,
Okay.
anything else would take a warrant article.
Yeah,
And these sidewalks are expensive to build. They have to be, if they're in the public way now, you have to build to certain standards. They
okay.
granite curbing, they require, in some cases, right-of-way taking. So they get complicated and expensive to do the kind of things that are in our
Yeah,
plan, you know, so that's why we've gone for matching funds.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, the town's willing to match. They haven't, we're talking a 20% match to, you know, the town putting in 20% in these cases, what we call ATP funds, which is alternate transportation planning. Those funds are an 80-20. So they're 20% by the town and 80 ultimately the federal government, which
Okay.
is funneled through the state, managed by the state, federal money.
Our governor just recently in the Nashua Telegraph talked about how much he wanted to support education.
Yeah.
So much of what I had to say would be, I'm sure he would support things at the state level, filtered down to the local municipalities and so forth. I would think, but.
All comes down to money, yeah.
So, well, thank you. I have
you.
enjoyed being here, and actually, this is my first venture into this room, and actually get in front of a microphone. I am contemplating, and I talked to Nelson about it, of having a TV show on our cable network, and I was going to call it, I'm still in the beginning stages. I hope you don't mind me plugging this right now, but I was just thinking about talking about building civic education in the town of Merrimack, and of course addressing some of the issues that face our nation, and of course medical and health is a big issue. Okay, so you know I was thinking of having a little show called maybe Chatting with the Bill of Rights, but I don't want to copy anybody else's. I think it's Chatting with Jeannie. I would definitely never go up against her. She's very effective, but I have not yet approached the TV studio to talk about the finer details of this. So I'm in the exploratory stage right now.
Well,
So
we'll
anyway.
take you in and introduce you.
So thank you very much
Okay.
for
Thank you.
letting me take
Yeah.
the mic, and I think you do good work here, and I'm going to contemplate my commitment to joining your committee.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, you're still contemplating. I was gonna go right to the town council and get you.
Well, one of the things I face, and we have a lot of men here, I don't know if you're all married, but I always have to check with the significant other half.
Oh, do that.
Yes, that's
Yes,
always a
yeah.
good thing.
Yeah, don't
I've learned
count
that over
outside
the
that.
50 years we've been married,
Yeah.
so.
We don't require 100% attendance, only about 80.
Okay. Okay.
That could be a selling point for your wife, or maybe she would prefer it if there was 100% attendance.
And maybe your wife is interested in joining too.
Perhaps.
Well, yes,
More
because
followings.
I did introduce my wife to Nelson.
Yes.
And it was at brunch
Right.
at Parker Village this past, Sunday. Okay. But she showed no real signs of excitement like me, okay, at the time. But she likes to walk. We've been walking for, for 50 years. We go out, we walk anyway, go to Amherst Village and walk there, but it'd be easier to walk around here. It'd be a heck of a lot
Mhm.
easier, all right? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
All right.
Thanks for attending.
Yeah, if,
When will this be aired?
we'll ask him on the way out. Ask him. Right now, I'm looking
Motion to adjourn.
adjourn, yes.
No,
you
not at
didn't
all.
interrupt, you're part
Not
of
at
the
all.
meeting. It was seconded by Karen.
Right.
Okay, we've got all in favor for adjournment? Say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstaining? None? You got that, Bill, in the minutes that we adjourned?
No, my computer ran out of battery, but that's all right.
Like